Yo, what's going on, everybody? I'm back with another Keepin' It Real podcast, and we're having some technical difficulties. Dude, I'm looking pale in this mirror. We're having a little bit of technical difficulties. Randomly, my audio just kind of stops connecting to my laptop, and it's driving me insane. This is the third take. I've been 20 minutes into a conversation, and my laptop stops working. Oh my God. Oh my God, we're having such a good conversation, but I just have to keep restarting it, bro. All right, what's going on, everybody? Feeling good, having a good day so far. I mean, having a good day so far until this, honestly. I'm trying to record a podcast, and this thing keeps crying. I don't know. I think it's the plugs, I guess, keep kind of unplugging slightly, and then you lose connection. So I flipped them around, and I think they're in there a little bit snuggly, a little bit more snuggly. But and I'm looking pale, so I'm gonna have to edit this up a little bit. Gonna have to play with the coloring. But what's going on, everybody? I am back with another Keeping It Real podcast. We're here solo dolo, baby. We are here solo dolo. We're gonna have a great conversation. Do nice guys finish last? That's what I'm saying. I've had this conversation for the past hour, basically by myself, because I've had to restart recording and then restart recording and then restart recording. And here I am having the conversation, part 3, with myself. So it should be the best conversation of the bunch because I have all the information to be able to lay forth. And hopefully I do not forget anything because I've already said it for the past hour. So I hope that doesn't happen. But got my little note sheet with me. But what's going on, everybody? I hope everybody's doing good. This podcast is available on Spotify and Apple if you want to check that out. And also, this podcast is available on my website. So link in the description, keepingitrealpod.com. You can check out my Instagram, Keeping It Real Podcast on Instagram. And then you can check out my personal YouTube where I drop vlogs and sometimes some thought-provoking videos. Been working on that stuff, but a lot of vlogs and stuff like that. So if you guys want to check that out, link will be in the description. How's everybody doing? Drop in the comments. How you doing? What do you want to talk about in the next podcast? Who are some guests that I should have on the podcast? Because I'm going to have some cool guests on. And from the title of this video, you can obviously tell this is, we're going to talk about I just want to say I'm a man. I'm a 20-year-old. I'm not really a man. I kind of hate to call myself a man because I'm a young man, right? I'm a young man, but I'm 20 years old and I am attracted to women. So I'm an heterosexual, and and that's basically the conversation that I'm going to lean towards is men talking to women and the whole masculine idea of like, you know, nowadays we live in a society where men are kind of weaker and men are a little softer than usual. And why is that? Why do women say they like that? But then in reality, divorce rates are through the roof. Women are not really happy with their man when their man is soft. And it's a deep conversation. It really is. It's a deep conversation that some people like to slap the idea of, misogynistic, misogyny. You're being sexist. You're being anti-inclusive. Dude, the list could go on with all these words. I don't know. People are making up words as we go along. But like I said, we got to make sure the laptop stays plugged in. We're plugging in. We're plugging away out here. But yeah, it is going to be a little bit of an uncomfortable conversation for some people. It's not really that uncomfortable for me. I think it's a little bit of reality. I hate when people are uncomfortable with the truth and reality. Sometimes the truth is ugly. Like when a cheetah eats a beautiful gazelle in the African savannah or the African, the land of the free, right? That's reality, right? Like that beautiful gazelle skipping around, bloop, 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 bloop. A cheetah comes, eats it, right? And is now living, and that gazelle's all bloody, the bones everywhere, right? Like, it's kind of crazy. That's reality. That's how they survive, and that's been going on for millions of years, okay? So it's like this whole woke dope culture is really insane to me. It's really throwing me for a whirlwind, if you want to be honest with you. But yeah, and there's a lot of hate on toxic masculinity, white men. I'm looking pale in the mirror or in my camera right now. I can see myself. So I'm sorry if I'm offending you just by the color of my skin. I apologize if I do that. I am not trying to do that. But But yeah, there's like a big, like almost like a cancel culture when it comes to men. Certain male characteristics, certain male traits. We want to demonize them, and we want to say that they're bad, they're negative for society. There's this, that, and the third. When in all reality, they are natural, and that is reality. Is that they are natural. Women are just as toxic as men. They have just as many toxic traits. Humans are toxic. Malevolence is something that all humans do, all humans can see, all humans can feel, and we all are aware of it. And it happens. It happens to all of us. Malevolence to men, malevolence to women, malevolence to male on male, friends on friends, mom on dad, on kids on parents, kids on other kids. It's insane. It's insane, and that's one of the biggest things. That's one of the biggest. What would I call malevolence? It's one of the biggest. It's one of the biggest heartbreakers for sure. It's one of the biggest heartbreakers for sure. When you realize that someone has committed some form of like malevolence against you, and you're like, oh, dude, really? Because it just shows like what a human's capable of. And it also shows that he could have picked, or they could have picked the better route, right? Like if you're upset with their malevolence, they obviously chose maybe a disrespectful route or something like that. So that's the idea of like male toxicity. I think humans are toxic, right? We are toxic people. Like men do things to try to attract women that are toxic and manipulative, and women do the same thing, right? Okay. And I just think it's kind of weird that we just kind of and don't get me wrong, like yeah, like you got the loud drunk guy who's all loud because he's a freaking drunk male. He's like, "Ah, blah, blah." Like that's a toxic male trait. I can understand that argument. But what about the girl that gets drunk and she's a straight bitch and she's like, you guys are ugly as hell. Like I've seen that too. So it's like I'm a bad bitch. You bitch is ugly as shit. I'm bad as shit. But yeah, there's a big stigma right now against like strong men. We don't need strong men are kind of like it's like a we don't want to build strong men. Society is creating a weaker man, and we're not talking about physically. We are talking a little bit about physically. I know I'm not strong. I'm not big, but I am strong. Come on. But if you guys want to check out some workout vlogs and some training videos, check out my YouTube. But we're building internally and mentally weak men. Like we are supporting even as an American government, we do support single motherhood, right? So when you support something, when you kind of subsidize something, it creates more of that. So we've supported single motherhood, which is good. I understand it. I totally understand it. But then it kind of creates more single motherhood because they can do it on their own. They don't need a man because the government can now help them or whatever it may be, right? And that's also not good as a male. Like, oh, well, she wants to be on her own with our child, and I'm not really gonna take care of them. And I think that's one of the biggest epidemics in our country that nobody really wants to talk about and nobody wants to harp. Nobody really wants to dive into that conversation. The lack of fatherhood, in a household, and the lack of strong fatherhood and creating a strong man, right? And I'm not talking about a strong man, whether that's creating a war general. That's not really what I'm talking about. Like back in the day, that's kind of what it was. You create a strong man and he becomes a war general and he becomes a president or he becomes you know what I'm saying? He becomes the prince and he's gone to war. He's gone and he's seen things. He's gone to battle and he's earned his stripes as an American. I think what kind of accent did I just do right there? Drop in the comments. I don't know. Just throwing out freaking random things. Like I said, I've been talking to myself for an hour now about the same damn thing. So I don't know what's going on. But yeah, masculinity is something that we kind of want to ostracize in especially in America. We want to ostracize it in society. We want to say it's bad. We want to say we should be soft men and we should all be nice and caring for each other. But I tend to disagree, and a lot of people tend to disagree, and I'm definitely on a journey. I'm going to be on a journey to find out why I disagree. I guess you could say that. And I'm not going to be like one of those. Some people get weird. Some people lose their mind. Some people lose their mind in anything they do, honestly. but I definitely want to learn about it. And it's interesting. I'm going to talk about the whole idea of like semen retention and stuff like that. It's a very interesting conversation. So let's get right. If you guys enjoy this conversation, like, comment, and subscribe for more content. But like I said, right now we're living in a society where we kind of ostracize men and strong men and male traits that protrude as being dominant and being assertive, and we say that's kind of mean and uninclusive and stuff like that, or whatever it may be. It's demonizing and stuff like that. But that's natural male traits and male human characteristics, and a big problem with that is women are attracted to that. And sometimes, and this is the biggest part of the conversation, that, like I said, that whole, there's a whole industry of men talking about giving advice on how to be a man and how to create manhood and how to treat women right and how to treat a relationship and how to get into a relationship and how to deal with these women situations. And a big part of the conversation is kind of learning human psychology and human behavior and not listening to the human tell you how they feel, right? It's kind of weird, right? So like I've seen some TikToks where people like, it's like a guy giving advice about a girl, like how to talk to a girl. And then in the comments, it's like, note taken, treat girl like shit. It's like check mark. And it's funny because some of the things are very like, very, I don't want to, insidious. I don't know if I used that word correctly. I may have just thrown a wrong word out there. But some of the things that they say are kind of like, whoa, I don't know if I would do that to a female that I'm trying to talk to or something like that, that I'm trying to impress, right? So but then you got to realize like deep down inside, like you don't want to like impress them, like you don't want to like I'm trying to think how you gotta tap deep into what really impresses them, not what they say impresses them. Because a lot of girls, first off, like what I just said. I think I said it. I think I said it. I don't know if I got into it, but like I said, I've been talking for an hour now. I don't know which ones I'm saying, but you get somewhere in life. You get to a point in life where you realize that people don't really know what's going on. Like when you're younger, you think like, oh, people become adults and they get to a certain age and they start figuring out life. They start realizing this, that they got to do this. You got to do, okay, you want to get this in life? You got to do this. You got to do this, that, and the third. And then when you do this, you achieve all this. Low key, like you realize that people don't really have their lives together the way you think they did, the way you maybe expected they would have. Whether that's your parents, just the people around you, your boss, like you get to a certain age where you realize like they're dealing with all that life shit that is all mumble jumbled in your head. They're dealing with that too. They're just trying their best to make the wheels go around, right? You know, it's a very simple thing. We're making the wheels go around, right? You're just trying. That's all life is. You're just trying your best to make the wheels go around. And sometimes you fall into a place where you're doing really well, and maybe a few days you're doing really well. You're in the flow. Maybe even a few weeks. Maybe if you're lucky, a few months. You're in the zone and you're just grinding. You feel good, and you got a purpose in life, and you're doing it, and you're achieving it, and that brings you a form of like self satisfaction, like none other, like really none other, and with that self satisfaction, other people are attracted to your own self-satisfaction. Do you know what I'm saying? Like male, female, like if you're achieving some shit that you want to achieve, people realize that. And if you achieve it, like you don't really need someone to reassure you or to affirm those feelings. Like you achieved it, you feel proud of yourself, you're happy, you're confident, whatever it may be. And but at the end of the day, you're truly satisfied with who you are and what you're doing and your journey that you're on. And when you're satisfied, you naturally you just attract humans, whether that's male, females, friends, girlfriends, whatever it is. You attract people because people are interested into a good lifestyle. And that's a big conversation. That's a big idea of what these guys that try to sell this how to be a man idea. That's what they talk about. Is they talk about you got to own your life. You got to really be on a journey in life as a man. Like as a man, you got to be chasing goals and chasing dreams for your own self so you can be satisfied, and that way other people will be drawn to you, and that will even make you more satisfied, right? And it's a hard game to play. It's really a hard game to play. But there is a sense of deep reality, and there is a sense of. I was watching this one podcast, and this was really, really interesting conversation. It was with this guy Ben Greenfield, and he was talking about him and his wife. Actually, were talking about the regular love languages. So if you're not speaking your partner's love language, you might, or if you don't understand that, you might be missing a big part in life. And I didn't know what he was talking about at first, and he blew my mind away. And it was something simple, but it was just like, you have a personality trait, and like you could say astrology lines up with this. You can find the astrology and find your personality trait. In reality, it's really your childhood, your upbringing, your parents, and your childhood, right? Your upbringing, who you are, is where you're from, and what happened when you were younger, right? And you could say that maybe your parents' astrology lines up with that, and it would have created exactly that. Maybe that's true. I don't know. I'm not an astrologist. Some of that stuff is fun to listen to, but I'm not sure how true it all is. But that being said, I'm trying to think what I was about to say. But that being said, when you're when you live a life and your parents bring you up a certain way, you have certain characteristics and certain traits as a human being, male, female, it doesn't matter. And you therefore need or want other things in life, right? So you want a person to bring. So some people want more assurance in life. They want people to tell them that they love them, and oh, you look so good today, honey. Blah 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 blah. Like some people just want that. They need that. Some people grew up where they had that so much in life that they don't want that. They want to be independent. They want to do things on their own. Or flip flop. Maybe they didn't have that, and they still don't really want it. Whatever it may be. But if you're not speaking your partner, like some people really love getting gifts and stuff like that, like big presents, and like you might be buying your girlfriend gifts, and if she doesn't really care about that shit, like maybe she cares more about a handwritten letter. Like, and I know it's hard to believe. But some people just don't line up, and you might be a gift guy, right? And if you're a gift guy and you're like, oh, I'm going to buy my girl gifts because that's dope, and you realize that she doesn't really like that, you got to realize that you're supplying to your demand. You know what I'm saying? You're supplying to your need, your attraction. You're fulfilling yourself right there. And you got to look at her love language, and if she's speaking like she wants affirmations, but you're buying her gifts, you know what I'm saying? You got to figure that out. So that's an interesting conversation that this guy Ben Greenfield was talking about, and I just thought it was really astonishing. And it was just not astonishing, but just like astonishing that I didn't even think about it. It's some of these simple things that are it's just human behavior and human traits and human characteristics. That's really all it is human behavior and psychology, sociology. And I think it's fun. But yeah, a lot of these men gurus, we'll call them masculine men gurus, I guess you could call them. They preach the whole idea of, just like when you realized adults don't really know what's going on in life, like they say this, that, and the third, but then they're drinking on the weekends, they're partying, like, what, like, you know what I'm saying? Women are the same way. Men, we're the same. We're all hypocrites. We are all hypocrites. So when you hold certain women up to these high standards and you think you can't reach these standards, not only are you killing your self-esteem and you're destroying your own, like kind of confidence and stuff like that, but women aren't like, that's also not reality. That's not reality. Women are dealing with the same problems that you're dealing with, but just probably a little different, little tweaked, maybe a little bit different, like thought about. I don't know how women think about problems. I don't know. Probably similar way, but yeah, it's just the idea of you gotta cater to the natural human behavior. You gotta cater to the natural human behavior. So if women naturally want attention and stuff like that, which is low-key true, and I think everybody wants attention, but you could argue that like men more want sex and women just want attention and reassurance and praise and all that BS and stuff like that, and men just are dogs and really just kind of want to have sex and stuff like that. And that's sadly true. I think that's sadly true, but I don't know. I wasn't talking about this one on my other podcast when I had no technical difficulties. But yeah, it's just really interesting, and then but it's really interesting how society is. I don't even know how I want to word what society is really just trying to weaken men. So then there's a conspiracy. If you've watched all of my podcasts, you know I'm a conspiracy guy. There's a conspiracy that a lot of the foods, processed foods, which I kind of believe, processed foods, plastics and stuff like that, they have they have feminine hormones in them. I forget. I'm literally having a brain fart right now. Having a brain fart. Estrogen. They have estrogen type of hormones in them, and yeah. So like, that could be true. They say the average man should have a level of 600 or a 1,000 level of testosterone, but they say the average man nowadays has like 200 to 300 because of our diets with processed foods and things like that, and because of the lack of exercise, the lack of muscle building and strenuous work on the body is and it's really interesting. It's really interesting, and it's almost telltale. You guys ever read a YouTube comment? Have you ever read a YouTube comment or like an Instagram comment and like you've never heard it before? There's no science backing it up. You didn't Google check it, fact check it or anything, but it just sounds kind of true, and you're like, you know what? Not only is that interesting, I kind of believe it. So there was this one I think it was a YouTube comment that said men or women can, like, they can sense subconsciously, they can sense the heat that a man with testosterone gives off on his body. That's why some people have an easier time like telling if someone is a transgender or something like that, which I don't know if it's true. But I find that maybe that is true. Maybe women can sense who has more testosterone on them. So like in them, you know what I'm saying, flowing through their body. Maybe that's, I don't know. Maybe that's just something natural. That's something really interesting to look into. But I think that's a part of the conversation that women and the society and mainstream, I don't want to say mainstream corporations or anything like that, but just people that, you know, talk about journalism and stuff like that. They don't really want to have this conversation because it's a little, ooh, you know what I'm saying? It's a little, we're stepping on some toes on the way to the conversation. But at the end of the day, men want feminine women and women want masculine men. And that's really what it is. And you can go into a much deeper dive of what is a feminine woman, what does femininity mean, and what is masculinity, what does masculine mean, where do these things differ, how can I increase one, decrease one, how can I get in touch with one if you want to get in touch with one. So there's some people that like think you should get really in touch with your feminine side to then open your masculine side. And then there's some people that think you shouldn't do that. And then there's some people that have done that and think you shouldn't do that because they've done that and think you should just tap into your masculine side. And we definitely live in a society now, because if you really look at ancient history, it's been a very masculine world, right? You could say that, you know, white men rule the world. It's a man's world, but it's only, and hear me out though, it's only a man's world because women are in it. And that's the only reason. The only reason is it's a man's world is because women are in it. So men, when you look at you can get really deep here, the yin and the yang. We all have that devilish side in us. We all have that satanic, that consciousness where it's that good and evil. You know you're doing bad and then you still do it. You do good and then you know you did good. Or you're about to do bad and your conscience is like, that's bad, don't do it. And you don't do it and you feel good. We all have this in our brain, right? And it gets a little bit deeper than that. And it gets to a point where even societies start running on a masculine scale. So then you can even track. So that's when astrology gets pretty interesting. You can track like the sun and which sun phase we are in, and our precession of our equinox, and and it can kind of see what, and you can also stock market guys talk about this as well. When you're in like a masculine time zone. Right now, it seems like we're in a feminine time zone. We're in a lot of chaos, and you could argue that chaos has been going on forever. We've been going to war for forever. That's constant chaos. So even though it's been a masculine history with men creating cultures and creating civilizations and taking over tyrannical governments and taking over things and claiming land and colonization, whatever it may be, a lot of it points to strong masculine men, right? But I mean, there's still chaos in that, right? And a lot of chaos too, a lot of chaos as well. But at the end of the day, it does seem that women are attracted to stronger masculine men that have a purpose in life, that are not worried about the woman, right? So that's like where it kind of gets a weird trajectory, right? That's where, like, that comment that I said, it's like, treat women like shit, check. And it's like, it's weird because women's like, and even me, like, you think like, oh, you tell a girl they're pretty, you tell this, that, and the third. At the end of the day, sadly, they low key want a man that doesn't give them that kind of attention. Like and this, I'm going to make a YouTube video about it. It's called, I'm going to name it The Chase. And it's like the whole idea of the chase. Like men are so attracted to a woman. They won't until they get it. And then they're like, all right, you know what I'm saying? Like, what's next? And it's so weird to me. It's so weird to me. And I think women do the same thing. I see women do the same thing. Maybe not all of them. Maybe they grow up. Maybe men grow up. I don't know. I'm not trying to generalize too much, but there is a sense of generalization that should kind of happen here. And, dude, it's just so interesting. It's just so interesting. Like I said, I definitely want to have somebody on and break down their ideologies and break down like what it is and what it is, because some people are very I don't want to say woke about it, but some people do kind of know what they're talking about, just like maybe I know a little bit more about, health and exercise and stuff like that. Some people do know about human behavior and male female heterosexual type of relationship behavior, and it's kind of deep. And a lot of people, I think, nowadays need it because we live in a society where social media, our iPhones, like I know firsthand, like I think not only myself, but I think the average girl and myself. So if I'm trying to talk to an average girl, I already think we both lack the skills, low key, to have like a true like interaction, random, whatever it may be. And it's mainly because of social media. You can go on social media and just post a picture and get 25 DMs from some guy saying you're bad. Add me on snap me back, like text me or some shit. Oh, it's like, damn, you're so bad. And you get 500 likes on Instagram and your dopamine, your serotonin, you're feeling good as hell. You feel good about yourself. Like, why you need to talk to a man when you can just post a picture on Instagram and you feel good? Like, I understand that. Like, that makes sense, right? Like, I understand it. But at the same time, it's low-key not good for society. It's not good for society. And that's why I always try to talk about social media and like certain aspects. Like, I've been on Instagram trying to build my Instagram, off Twitter. Twitter's terrible for you. TikTok, I do try to post some clips on TikTok, but I don't go on TikTok. I haven't been on TikTok in like 2-3 weeks. But and even Snapchat. Snapchat, you just snapping people and stuff like that. And then we can get into the conversation of porn. And porn is really messing with our society and messing with mentality, and it's just messing with some peoples, dog. It's messing with some peoples. It's number one. It's so accessible. You could be nowadays. Kids got iPhones at 10, 11 years old. It's so accessible. They're watching people having sex at 10, 11. You can go on Twitter and just have, dude. Donald Trump can't post on Twitter, but you can just post fucking porn on TikTok or on Twitter. You know what I'm saying? It's like they don't care. They don't care. They want to sexualize us. They want us to have babies, and then, you know what I'm saying? That's why you go to the conspiracy. The conspiracy always lines up. All roads lead to Hillary Clinton, baby. No, I'm just kidding. I'm joking. Don't ban this video. YouTube's now gonna shadow ban this video. But oh god, I really know where I was going. I got lost in the sauce. But yeah, we're living in porn. Porn is so accessible, and it's also, I think it's demonizing. It's demonizing both men and women, because you go on porn, women have been thinking this, and that just goes to show they be watching some porn. I guess I don't know what's going on in the building, but they post like that's not really what like a person looks like. Like this, like you ever see like this is what a back looks like, and it's like a girl with like a regular back. But like you watch porn and she's got like this. She's like in all these like sex positions like the whole time, like all like sexual. The cameras like angles are perfect and shit. And then you got this monster cock coming out and just literally ramming this girl. You got this monster cock and you have this perfect shaped woman. You know what I'm saying? Perfect shaped woman. And it's not really reality. Not only is the whole sex not reality, like that's not really how sex happens. If you didn't know, it doesn't usually go down like that. And nowadays it's going down like that. People are straight just having like porn porn style sex, and it's just insane. There's no morals in this goddamn country. I don't know what's going on. But it also leaves a point as a man. There's a lot of, I don't want to say foreplay going on in porn. Dude, we're getting deep into the freaking strains right here. I don't want to say there's a lot of foreplay going on in porn, but there's a lot of like lead up, I guess you could say, like that weak ass acting. It's like, let's say the pizza delivery guy, right? The pizza delivery guy comes, oh, I don't have a tip for you, but I'll fucking give you a blowjob, right? Like, as a man, like, that's kind of lit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's kind of like, oh my God, that would be lit if that happened, right? And like, you start to like lose reality. Like, that's not reality. Like, if you deliver a pizza, the girl's probably not gonna suck your cock if she has no tip money. You know what I'm saying? But like, once you start realizing, and then like, it gets to a point like, it's like, oh, you're not going to suck my dick for a tip money. It's like, you're going to get to a point where men start to like expect type of things. And same thing with women. Women are going to, you don't have a 12-inch cock. It's like, nah, I'm not that guy on TV. I'm sorry. It's like, I'm not that guy on that video. I'm sorry I'm sorry I sent you that. Get it. We're joking. But yeah. Porn is a very interesting subject. I definitely I low-key want to have, I want to have some professors on here, some teachers, and some professionals, man. Some professionals that talk about this stuff. Maybe a porn star on here. Who knows? Who knows what's happening? I don't know. Who knows who you know? You know what I'm saying? Who knows who's going to become a porn star? I don't know. And then a big conversation that these male gurus like to talk about is the whole semen retention, right? The whole idea of not ejaculating and holding on to your testosterone, right? It's not the idea of just like, it's like some people are like, oh, dude, I just want to come. Like, it's like, oh, bro, I just want to jerk off. It's just easy. It's like, bro, that's the whole point. You know what I'm saying? As a man, your strongest hormone is testosterone. That's everything, right? So like, I'm kind of giving it a try myself, and I'm also going to try to make a YouTube video about it. So stay tuned if you guys want to check out my YouTube. Smash the link in the description. Also, if you're enjoying this conversation so far, subscribe. You already know what's going on. But yeah, the whole idea with like semen retention is you want to build up your testosterone, and not only build up your testosterone, you want to hold on to your testosterone. So like, they say if you hold on to your testosterone, if you don't ejaculate for too long, like months on end, your body will stop making testosterone because your mind starts to tell yourself like, yo, I'm not using my testosterone, so like, you don't really need to make it. So be aware of that, but also you don't want to be ejaculating every single day, twice a day, once a day, once every other day, whatever it may be. Your testosterone is your strongest hormone as a man. It gives you the most amount of energy, focus. Like, that's what I'm starting to learn now, is how powerful testosterone is. And that's why it's bringing me to a little bit of an enlightenment, an awakenment. I guess you could consider it. But yeah, once you learn how valuable this, maybe invaluable, is invaluable the right word? How valuable testosterone is to a male and to your body and to your, I mean, I don't want to call myself an athlete, but I do a lot of exercising and I'm trying to do some athletic endeavors. So I definitely need my testosterone for that as well. But also, like they say, just to have confidence in yourself, just to feel powerful as a man. And then you can get into the conversation that women are naturally, subconsciously, they're attracted to men with more testosterone in their body. Like I said, I don't know if that's true. That'd be freaking interesting to figure it out. I don't know. But yeah, the idea of promoting men to have sex and, oh, it's okay to masturbate. It's okay to masturbate. It's okay to casually have sex with women that you don't care about. Like that's kind of what society is creating right now. And it's not that good. It's really not that good. And like, I see OnlyFans, like I see some girls with OnlyFans, and it's like, I think it's kind of cool. I think it's kind of like, oh, $3 for you get on sale of $3 for a month to see this girl that I grew up with doing OnlyFans. Like, that's kind of lit. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, you have to be real. You have to be real with yourself. It's like, now when I see this girl, I'm going to look at her purely as like a sex worker, right? As a sex worker, and not to demonize sex workers, but you are a sex worker, right? It is what it is. Like, it is what it is. We're gonna look at you like can we pay you for sex? Like, that's like the whole, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what we view you as instantly. Like, if I see someone that became a doctor, it's like, oh shit, if I broke my leg, like, hey, can you help me? But it is a sense of reality that people don't really want to talk about. And I don't get me wrong. Like, sometimes, dude, I see people pulling in bread from OnlyFans. You're like, dude, maybe I could make an OnlyFans, even posting my feet or something like that. Who knows? And some people do that. But it's interesting. It's an interesting conversation. But it's deep. It's deep. It's moralistic because we're starting to lose our morals as a country. And I understand, like, it's like morals is like, oh, like, you're holding me back from my, like, if I want to fuck, I'm going to fuck. Like, if I want to do this, I'm going to do that. But, like, at the end of the day, there's a reason why you probably shouldn't do those things. And in my opinion, in my honest opinion, I think you need to do those things to learn that those things are bad. Because when you have kids that are super strict, and everybody knows at least one person that has strict ass parents, and the moment they had a moment of freedom, they were wild. Whether that was when they went to college, whether that was when they left the house on the weekend once a week, and they finally left the grip of their helicopter parents, and they just went insane. They did drugs, they had sex, they did all this crazy stuff, and like, Jesus Christ, what's going on? But yeah, like those kids you gotta watch out for too, because those kids end up doing it later in life. That's what I tend to realize now. Like, some of those kids that dealt with helicopter parents, they're doing right now what I was doing when I was like 14. And it's mind blowing. It's mind blowing. But yeah. Comparing yourself to others is something that our society is struggling with as well. You know, social media, everybody's got an opinion, everybody posts their utopia. Everybody doesn't really post reality. They post their best pictures. They post their most quality pictures. They post their happiest days, their happiest face, the best angle of their body. It's not reality. It's not reality. And people do not like to have that conversation where it's not reality. The truth hurts, but the truth sets you free. I don't even know really where I'm going with this anymore. But yeah, semen retention, holding on to your testosterone. It's one of the most important, vital hormones that a man can produce and have in his body. So you want that. Like, if you want to start a business and achieve things and do things in life and really set goals and achieve them and grind in your day, like, if you're spending all day trying to talk to girls, like, girls don't want that. They don't want a guy like that's spending all day trying to talk to girls. They know when that's happening, okay? And maybe you can fool some girls, maybe you can fool a few of them, maybe you can drop down and get some younger girls, but eventually it's not like, people aren't as stupid as sometimes I like to give them credit for. You know, sometimes people tend to downplay people's intelligence, or they downplay their stupidity, and then both times they get made looking stupid. They get made looking stupid. So that's what you got to watch out for. But it's like I said, it's such a complicated conversation. It's all over the place. But as a man, you don't really want to ejaculate every day. You just don't. You want your semen, or not. It's not technically your semen. You want your testosterone. You want the hormone of testosterone. That's what you want. Testosterone is going to give you focusedness. It's going to give you confidence. It's going to probably help your brain. It's probably going to help your happiness levels, whether it's like dopamine and releasing of all these different levels of stuff. But because if you're strong as a man, you're strong up here, bro. So it is deep. Like, it is deep. And some people try not to talk about it and say, oh, you're going to ejaculate if it feels good for you, that's good. You want to feel good about yourself. Like, but then the next day you feel sluggish and bad and this, that, and the third. And then if you try it, it's good. Feeling focused. Wang Chow. Wing Chuck. That's what I'm fucking learning. Oh, God. I don't think I dropped the F-bomb yet, so I'm sorry. 40 minutes in, I just dropped the F-bomb. I'm sorry. What do I got in here? And yeah, big subject is like I was saying, adults don't really know what's going on in life. Women don't really know what they want. Men don't know what they want. So don't let a woman tell you what she wants when she doesn't know what she wants. Just understand, most women don't know what they want. And when they tell you what they want, it's still not really what they want because they don't know what the fuck they want. Just like you, when you tell a girl like, oh yeah, I want you. And then like a few days later, like, did I really fucking mean that? Like, I don't really know. You know what I'm saying? Like, they go into the same thing. So there comes a point where you do have to be a man and you do have to be assertive and you do have to make yourself like, yo, shorty, what's up? Like I said, I got to get a professional on here and really spit some facts because I'm trying to break down what they're talking about in the whole conversation. Obviously, your boy Luki V is not an expert. Definitely not an expert. You don't want to take all my advice, but hold on to your testosterone. Definitely take that advice. That's some good advice. But yeah, I mean, we're really living in a society. Softer men are like, be the nice guy, right? You be the nice guy, and it's gonna set you free, right? But then you start getting stepped on, and then you start getting stepped on. You feel like a bitch, and you get mad, and then you become resentful, right? What I've learned in life. I'm young as hell. Resent is the worst thing to have. That's pure malevolent. That's pure like devil. Like that's devil energy that's like satanic energy right there. Is resentment. Like you don't want to have that build up. You don't want to have that build up. So to stop that build up, I kind of forgot what I was talking about. But you don't want to have resent. You don't want to build resent against anything. That's just, dude. Where was I going with that? Damn, I was really about to drop a bomb, but I'm watching. Dude, it's a process watching the camera. You got to time yourself. You got to watch the thing. No resent. You don't want to build up resentment. I don't really know where I was going with that. I was really about to, I think I was about to connect it with men liking women and women, you know, doing this, that, and the third, and then building resent. I don't know really where I was going with that, truthfully, but I knew where, oh my God, bro. That's what happens when you make a podcast, bro. You just start losing yourself. Get lost. Honestly, I've been talking for 2 hours now, so you got to give me some credit. I had some technical difficulties. I've been recording for 2 hours now. We're in the damn thing. We are in the damn thing. I'm fresh out the gym too. Little sore. The heart rate's up right now because the body is recovering. What are you gonna do? But yeah, it's a tricky conversation. And it's a conversation that people do not really want to have, and that's really what I have on this podcast. Like. I talk about lately. I've been talking a lot about conspiracies and political conspiracy. I don't really want to talk about that anymore because it's so corrupt. Like Joe Biden's literally blowing up the Middle East right now, and no one's saying shit about it. And like I could make podcasts all day talking about that, and people really aren't gonna listen to me. And you know what? People don't really care. That's a big thing. People don't really care. So that's interesting. That's interesting when it comes to that. But I think this is what I was saying about resent. Like men and women don't know what they want. So you don't want to build up resent when someone like kind of does some form of malevolence or kind of plays you or something like that. Like you don't want to build that up. You want to have assertiveness. You want to take control of the situation. And you also don't want to have regret. You don't want to regret like, oh, I was being nice to her and I, you know, let her. It's a tricky conversation. Like I said, I don't think I'm articulating it that well. I don't think I'm doing a bad job, but it's also every instant is different. Like every instant is different. Like you could do this with a girl if this situation happened. Like if this happened, this is how you would have to handle it. But it is interesting, like the idea of like, so they would say if a girl bails on you on a date, right? Then if she wants to go back out, you got to make her pay for it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like stuff like that. And stuff like so it's like, I'm a man, right? I'm a man. I have a business. I'm busy. I got time. I'm going to spend my time on you. I'm going to spend possibly my energy and money on you. And if you're not going to respect that, then we're just not going to do it. Like there's nothing going on here. And the idea with that is if you hold yourself like that, women are attracted to that because they like that. They're like, damn. And also, there's also the idea with being a high valued person, right? Being a high valued person, whether that's a man or a woman, being a high value person basically means people view you as a high value person. So you might not even be a high value person, but if you hold yourself and you can convince people that that's who you are, people will then look at you like that and they will treat you like that. So if you really want to get a lot of women attention or even men attention or just sexual attention, you got to be a high value person. and you got to chill around high value people. You also got to do high value things, whether that's really chase your goals and be passionate. If you're passionate about life, that's valuable. That's of high value, right? You don't have to be a billionaire to be of high value, right? You're passionate about your life. You know where you want to go. You have goals, you're achieving them, you're setting them, and then you're achieving them. And people respect that. People are attracted to that, and women are attracted to that. So, like I said, I tried discussing. I was talking about so many different things as I was recording beforehand too, so I don't know exactly if I got everything. But yeah, society is pushing a little bit of a softer, nicer men. Do nice guys finish last? That's really the name of this podcast. Let me know in the comments. Do you think nice guys finish last? I'm actually, if you guys, like I said, if you want to check out my vlogs, I'm dropping a video very soon that being nice is fake. That's the name of my video. And do I completely think that? I don't completely think that, but I think being nice is kind of fake. Like, oh, you have a nice outfit today. Like, man, you're just saying that. Like, so every once in a while, like, you see a pair of shoes, you're like, damn, this guy's got some nice shit. Like, bro, I never seen those shoes. Those are really nice, man. Like, you mean it. You're like, oh, thanks, man. It's like, oh, I really like your shoes. Like, it's like, you didn't really mean that. You know what I'm saying? It's like, or a lot, and this is what girls do a lot. Girls tend to be very nice to each other. Like on Instagram, like, oh, you're the prettiest. You're so beautiful. Like, oh, you're the prettiest ever. It's like, that's you, baby. It's like, you're probably talking shit about this. And you know what? They are talking shit. Girls are, oh, they're devilish. They're devilish. But yeah, they end up just talking shit about the girls that they're commenting on, and oh, we're supporting each other, but meanwhile they're really grinding them up with their friend group. So it's very interesting to see that happen. What are you gonna do, man? What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? The only thing you can do, and it's not even about if you want to get it like, and that's a part of the conversation that I get confused about is like, I don't know where I'm at in life. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got a lot of things I want to do. And like, I'm not trying to get married, and I'm not trying to like manipulate women into like trying to marry me or like be it's an interesting conversation. It's an interesting subject, but I definitely want to have somebody on the podcast to talk about it because I think we are lacking a sense of masculine manhood. You know, masculinity isn't negative the way society tries to portray it and the way people try to portray it nowadays. To be a strong man is good. You're of high value to society, honestly. And truthfully, more women will be attracted to you than they will even admit, than they can even realize to admit, which is really insane. So that's really the whole idea of gaining masculinity is learning about human behavior and really learning about human behavior and then thinking for yourself once you learn about this human behavior. So once you learn humans do this, that, and the third, and then men and women like to do this, and then you already know men and women like to lie about things. So then when someone lies to you about something, you can just play the average human behavior card, and your statistics are probably going to play right. And that's just all you got to do. That's really all you got to do. It's human behavior. Learn a little bit about psychology. And psychology sometimes can set you free. But what are you going to do? I'm just the 800-pound gorilla in the room. Just kidding. No, I'm not. It's $5 Friday at Smoothie King, and I'm about to go get a smoothie. I feel like I was talking about some other things in the podcast before I recorded this one because, like I said, I had some technical difficulties, and I was driving myself insane, honestly. And I'm glad I'm here for 50 minutes. No technical difficulties. I plugged the wires in the right way, so we're Gucci gooch on that. Happy about that. But yeah, I hope you didn't get offended by this video. I didn't mean to really offend anybody. I just wanted to talk about what is the wave? What's the whole wave right now with the whole masculinity and growing masculine men and creating, men and stuff like that. Some people get really deep and creepy and weird, and sometimes, like I said, some people lose their minds doing anything. And I have seen some people kind of go down like the deep path, like on a weird way, like. There's some fitness influencers that were really famous and then kind of are not really famous anymore, and they still make videos, and it's just kind of weird, and it's all about like man stuff and masculine stuff, and I don't know. I don't know how much I agree with it too much. Like, it's like, and if you find a woman and you're happy with her and you guys can communicate and talk it out, like, Jesus Christ, like that's the best thing that can happen, honestly. You know what I'm saying? You don't got to do any of this manipulation, bullshit, But it also is empowering. I basically pronounced it the same way. it is empowering to know that stuff and have some of that knowledge at hand. And I'm a young buck, so I'm young. I got a whole life. Hopefully, I got a whole life to live, and got a bunch of women to meet. I don't know. Maybe I'm a fucking alien. Maybe I'll have sex. Maybe I'll get, dude. I was watching that guy on Joe Rogan to talk about how he like Loki got like it sounds like he got sexually assaulted by some aliens. Like, I'm not trying to fucking do that, dude. That's not what I'm trying to do. Okay? Like, maybe men are dogs when it comes to, sex, and we can't be controlled, but dude, I'm not trying to have sex with an alien, and that's just what it is. I'll be honest with you. Um but yeah, hold on to your testosterone. Don't ejaculate every day. Um Porn is demonizing people. I don't know if I'm using that word correctly, demonizing, but it is making us look at women with like less integrity, and you got to hold yourself accountable for that. Like, personally, like, I don't know if women are viewing men less integrity because they think that I don't know. Like, it's so interesting to me because, like, also, like, if you think about it, like, men really are like, I don't want to say addicted to sex, but like really attracted to sex. That's really what. Like, I wonder if women think sexually the same way as men. And some women try to say on like, on Twitter, like, damn, men don't even know half the sex drive that women have. It's like, you know what? Well, maybe I kind of want to know. Maybe I kind of want to know. Let me know. Let me know in the comments what's going on. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this podcast. I got a little wild on this one. Not too wild, honestly. Hope nobody got offended. It's just what it is. Like I said, I was just kind of trying to brainstorm out loud. I wanted to make this podcast and just think about some of these things. Like, I've been watching some videos and just thinking about stuff. So I think it's very interesting. At the end of the day, if you want to attract anybody, if you want to attract happiness and satisfaction from yourself, be on a journey in life and achieve goals. That's all you got to do. This is the Keeping It Real podcast. I'm about to drop the mic because I just fucking, you know what I'm saying? Smash that like button, subscribe, check out my website, link in the description, check out my Instagram, check out my vlogs. Stay tuned for a podcast guest and drop in the comments what's going on, dude. Podcast guest coming. Podcast guest coming, baby. Deuces.